visits to see, hear, and take in devastation, and it truly is difficult even to describe. We need all level of support, both at the local county level, the state level, and the federal level, and we need it immediately. I cannot stress enough how important that is and will continue to be in the future. Today, I wrote a letter to President-elect Trump inviting him to engage in wildfire recovery efforts and to visit the county to see the impact firsthand that it has on every socioeconomic individual in this county. Engaging the White House makes the way for the rapid deployment of federal resources, including emergency personnel and financial assistance. While I was on my walkthrough today, I crossed paths with California Assembly Speaker Rivas, and actually the entire, I think, Assembly family was up in Altadena. I told the Speaker that the state has to be incredibly flexible and streamline all of their processes, and he has promised to work with us. My goal is to help communities rebuild like for like, if not better. But there are state and county requirements that can sometimes add an additional cost to the building process. My ask is that the state and the county work to ensure that we rebuild safely, but we must remove any new costly requirements not related to health and safety that would otherwise make it cost prohibitive for residents to rebuild. Government mandates cannot mean the difference between whether a community can afford to rebuild or not. We need to be extremely responsive to the individual needs of thousands of residents who are going to have to navigate this incredibly difficult process. Our community's resilience has always been inspirational and will be our guiding light as we move forward together. I understand that many of our residents are looking and thinking rebuilding is not just a priority, it is an urgent need. I've talked to people who know their home is gone and they want to begin today. I will make sure that the county works quickly to eliminate unnecessary red tape, ensuring permits are approved safely and swiftly so that reconstruction can begin as soon as possible. Again, my priority is to ensure that government becomes a facilitator, not an obstacle, as we move toward recovery. I will also prioritize creating one-stop service centers where all relevant departments are available in one place in real time to answer your questions, provide guidance, and support your rebuilding efforts. This will be designed with one goal: to make the recovery process as seamless and supportive as possible, and to make sure those resources are right there in the community where you are rebuilding. We're here to help, and we will continue to be here during every part of the process. With that, I'd like to bring up Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Barger. So good afternoon. The Eaton Fire is now estimated to be 14,117 acres with 15% containment. Over 7,000 structures are damaged or destroyed, and 2,832 firefighting personnel are assigned to the Eaton Fire. Elevated critical fire weather conditions are predicted to begin this evening and continue through Wednesday. Moderate to locally strong Santa Ana winds will affect Los Angeles County today and tomorrow, and again Monday through Wednesday. The Los Angeles County Fire Department will be prepared. These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County high. Please understand that the inevitable public safety power shutoffs that will be implemented prior to this life-threatening Santa Ana wind event are crucial to preventing new fire starts, and that they help save lives. Yes, they're a challenge to deal with, but it's certainly better than having another fire start. I would like to express my gratitude to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors for their leadership and unwavering support of our residents, my fire department personnel, and me as fire chief. To our first responders battling these wildfires in the air and on the ground, we commend you for your relentless and fearless dedication in protecting residents throughout this great county. And finally, to our Los Angeles County residents, please be assured that we will continue to battle these wildfires until they are fully contained. We stand alongside all of you as we begin to plan for repopulation of evacuated areas, disaster recovery, and the rebuilding of your homes and your lives. I would now like to introduce California Interagency Incident Management Team 5, Operations Section Chief, Don Fraguglia.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, so quick operational update here for the Eaton Fire. Over here, as we start on the right flank in Santa Anita Canyon, things are looking really good across the front country here until we get to about here, and then we're starting to still see quite a bit of heat, quite a bit of work through here in this area. As we come across over here into the Altadena area, I want to just highlight this square box right here is a square mile. So it's a massive, massive area that we're talking about here. That's residential community. It's not wildland. It's a residence, and these are people's houses. So huge Herculean task to get through all this down here. We have a ton of work. It's many days, many weeks of work. Just wanted to highlight that a little bit. As we come through by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, this is looking good. Again, crews engaged, boots on the ground, mopping up. All through the National Forest up here, we continue to make really good progress up there. The weather's in our favor. We're using air tankers, we're using helicopters, all the tools in our toolbox to go get and put this fire out right where you see it right here. So that'll be our goals in the coming days. Thank you very much.
Now we're going to have Los Angeles County Sheriff Commander Tanya E. Plunkett.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take this time to update you on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's effort in dealing with the Eaton Canyon fire. Currently, in response to the fire, our staffing has increased to approximately 500 personnel. Within the personnel, we have active missions, which include controlling traffic points, of approximately 46 hard closures, and traffic control. We also have roving security to deal with looting and address those issues. And when necessary, respond to welfare requests and at the direction of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. As you may, as you may be aware that last night we instituted a curfew order which went into effect from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and currently, within the evacuation zones. It's important to know that these zones are going to be strictly enforced, and the reasons behind them is to enhance public security and address enhance public safety and address public security concerns. Within the curfew, we're asking everyone to stay clear of the affected zones unless they are authorized personnel or emergency responders. Anyone found in violation of the curfew order will be subject to a misdemeanor crime and subject to $1,000 fine. We understand that this is an extremely stressful and challenging time, but we appreciate the public's cooperation as we work together during the crisis. Since the Eaton Canyon fire commenced, we have a total of, 19 arrests, and of those 19 arrests, 4 were for curfew violations last night. We also had a search and rescue task force that commenced this morning, and that will be until the completion. It will begin daily at 6 a.m. and end at 6 p.m. That search and rescue team, we are working jointly with our partners from Los Angeles County Fire Urban Rescue, the coroner's office, FEMA, OES, and the use of cadaver dogs to search for remains and reunite families, most importantly. These searches will be a part of a grid search, like I mentioned, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. due to safety concerns and our inability to operate during nighttime hours. Unfortunately, we report that we have 8 deaths within the Eaton Canyon fire area that was affected by the fire. And in an effort to deal with the death and the tragedies as a result of this fire, we do have, working with our partners, family assistance centers that are open to provide information to people looking for missing family members, and that location is the Pasadena Civic Center. It will be comprised of OEM, sheriff's deputies, LAPD, Red Cross, the medical examiner, and the Department of Mental Health. On scene, it's important to remember that if you have missing family members, we have 2 personnel on scene to take those missing persons reports for the family members and or friends. In closing, I'd like to mention that we all know so many people have been impacted by the disaster and need help. If you are in a position to help and support the counties, we would appreciate that, and please contact Emergency Network Los Angeles by visiting www.nlaenla.org. At this time, I'd like to introduce Los Angeles County Public Health Dr. Amish Mahajan.
Good afternoon. My name is Anish Mahajan, Chief Deputy Director of LA County Public Health. I'd like to start by thanking the first responders for their heroic efforts and extending our thoughts and prayers to all who have experienced such profound loss with these fires. We in public health are committed to supporting those in need in the months ahead. I'd also like to thank the county supervisors, especially Supervisor Barger, for their extraordinary and thoughtful support of public health and all our county and city partner departments. Yesterday, a local health emergency for LA County was declared by both Secretary Becerra at the federal level and by the county health officer, recognizing the substantial risks to public health due to the impacts of the critical fire events and windstorm conditions. The South Coast Air Quality Management has issued a smoke advisory through Saturday, January 11th at 5 p.m. This advisory will surely be extended. We are all experiencing this wildfire smoke, which is a mix of small particles, gases, and water vapors. It's those small particles that get into our noses and throats and cause those sore throats and headaches. But we must also be very careful for those who are at higher risk for bad health effects from wildfire smoke. And those include children, the elderly, those with respiratory and heart conditions, and people with immunocompromised states. They may have worse symptoms like shortness of breath, wheezing, cough, and chest pain. Everyone in the areas where there's visible smoke or the smell of smoke, and even where you don't see that, we know that the air quality is poor, so you should limit outdoor exposure as much as possible. Do not engage in outdoor physical activity. If you must be outside, wear an N95 or a P100 mask. These are high filtration masks that take out those small particles that get into your body. Keeping indoor air as clean as possible is also important. Keep your windows shut. If you have an air conditioning that can pull air from the outside, that can recirculate air, you can use that. If you have a HEPA air filter or HEPA air purifier, that will help too. All of us are at risk with the poor air quality right now, but some of us in LA County are at even greater risk. For example, if it's part of your job to work outside, it's important that you wear an N95 or P100 mask. In these situations, you may ask your employer for an N95 and they're required to provide it to you free of charge. The LA County Department of Public Health is offering N95 masks through the interim housing sites, shelters, and street teams to LA residents who are experiencing homelessness and living outdoors. and to those persons who are evacuated from where they usually live and staying in temporary shelters. Family assistance centers will also offer respiratory masks to residents who are returning to fire zone areas as they clean up the fire damage. The County of Los Angeles and our partners are also working to distribute over 5,000 HEPA air purifiers to senior centers, nursing homes, and other facilities where individuals are at highest risk of residing in the worst air quality. Finally, if you experience severe symptoms like coughing, shortness of breath, wheezing, chest pain, palpitations, nausea, please contact your doctor or medical provider or go to an urgent care. For life-threatening symptoms, please call 911. I want to finish by noting that we understand this is a very difficult time for those who are evacuated, and we have a lot of folks who want to get back to their homes and to their neighborhoods. But we want to ask folks not to return home until you're told that it's safe to do so. There is a lot of toxins left over after the fire. There's a lot of smoke there. And once you are going back, the key is to remain covered up. Make sure you're wearing gloves. Household dishwashing gloves are okay. Long sleeves, long pants, and you should be using an N95 mask. The LA County Department of Public Health is also offering N95 masks to LA residents who are returning to the fire zone areas as the cleanup of the fire damage begins. Those masks are also available at the county evacuation centers and other sites. I'm going to finish there and happy to answer questions. Next, I'll invite City of Pasadena Mayor Victor Bordo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just returned from visiting the devastated areas of Pasadena and Altadena, and devastation really is the only word. I visited with the Southern California's congressional delegation, and I'd like to thank them for taking the time to see firsthand exactly what's happening in our community. While it's devastation up there, I know that our community, our people in Altadena and Pasadena, we really are one community, is a resilient and strong community. And I'm here to tell all of you that the County of Los Angeles, Supervisor Barger, the State of California, and our congressional delegation is committed to supporting as we bounce back, and we will bounce back in Pasadena and Altadena. The resilience that we've shown in past disasters is proof of that. I'd also like to thank the first responders for all of their hard work and courage in assisting our residents. And finally, I'd like to say this: if you are thinking of coming to Pasadena and or Altadena for the purpose of looting, know this: the Pasadena Police Department and the LA County Sheriffs will be there to meet you. If you're even thinking about it, think twice, because the Pasadena Police Department and the Pasadena and then the LA County Sheriffs will not only be there to greet you, but you will be arrested. And so I would discourage anyone from even thinking about coming and victimizing our residents. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to introduce the CEO of Southern California Edison, Stephen D. Powell.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Powell, President and CEO of Southern California Edison. As a longtime, entire life resident of Southern California, it has been, words can't describe how horrific it is to see the impact on our communities, friends, my colleagues at Edison, even through these fires. Just been terrible to see. As we look forward, I first want to say thank you to the first responders, the fire agencies that are out there protecting the community and partnering with us on keeping people safe. I want to say thank you to our crews, our contractors, as well as those that provide mutual assistance from PG&E that are out there working 24/7 to bring power back on in our communities. As of this morning, Edison still had about 50,000 customers without power. That's down from a peak of over 500,000 just a couple of days ago. So we're making significant progress on the power restoration. We've got over 120 crews supported by other field personnel. That's thousands of people out working 24/7 to bring power back on once it's safe to do so. At the same time, there's a lot of places where we don't have access, where there's a lot of damage that could lead to really extended outages. as Chief Maroney mentioned, we're also not through all the weather issues. We see a big wind event coming in next week, and that could lead to more public safety power shutoffs. Again, as an electric utility, we never want to shut people's power off. But to protect our communities when the conditions are merited, we need to use it as a tool of last resort, and we will be doing that. So just want to let everybody know that's been out there without power for 5 days now. We've got our crews working 24/7 to bring power back on as it's safe to do so. Thank you. Next up is State Senator Sasha Renee.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start off by first acknowledging that we have members of our Altadena Town Council here with us today, and I really just want to give them a big shout out. You know, so many members of their town council who are the elected body of Altadena have not only lost their homes, but they are also out there volunteering, making sure that people are getting resources, and that is so critical and so important. And so I just want to recognize the work that they're doing after they have lost so much. This is such a difficult time, and I am so grateful that you all have taken the time to be here and to join us. First, you know, I want to share with you all, I was with the Attorney General this morning. He wants to make it very clear to everyone that price gouging is illegal. We have received reports that there is price gouging happening, whether that is around hotels, whether that is around apartment housing, whether that's around water. That is not okay. If you see price gouging happening online, please report it immediately. Us making sure that we are holding people accountable depends on all of you reporting. The website to do that is oag.ca.gov/report. I want to make this clear again. Price gouging is illegal. It is not okay to price gouge during a state of emergency. These are innocent people that you are taking advantage of, and I want to remind folks, please have some humanity during this difficult time. In addition to that, many have been asking about help with navigating their insurance. We have an insurance workshop that's going to be happening here in Pasadena on Saturday, January 25th, and Sunday, January 26th at Pasadena City College. Both of those events will be happening at 10 a.m. You can schedule your appointment in advance at 1-800-927-4357. Make sure to call. You can go ahead and meet with an expert there who will assist you with navigating your insurance policy. In addition to that, we've been receiving questions about medication. If you've lost your prescriptions in the fire, you need them to be replaced. City of Pasadena pharmacy team is refilling prescriptions. In addition to that, Ultimed is providing immediate medications such as inhalers, albuterol, high blood pressure medication, and general medication for emergent needs at the Pasadena Convention Center. Ultimed is also providing mental health support and wound care as well. Both of those will be at the Pasadena Convention Center. And in addition to that, FEMA staff is currently at the Pasadena Convention Center right now. They will be here in the coming days from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to help those that need help with navigating their FEMA applications. I know that I've heard from many residents that they've received denial letters, even though they've lost their homes, they've lost everything. FEMA staff is in town, located at Pasadena right now. They can help you with navigating that application. Please head there if you need assistance. And also you can reach out to our office. We will connect you with somebody at FEMA. Last but not least, we know Pasadena and Altadena are still communicating to the public to avoid drinking tap water in impacted areas. Please contact your local water utility to assess if your area has been impacted. We know the City of Pasadena is hosting water bottle distribution centers at 450 North Lake Avenue. We also have Pasadena City College acting as a distribution center for donation goods. So if you need those items, please go ahead and head there. And once again, just want to thank everybody that's been donating, all of the volunteers. I just came from the Pasadena Convention Center. On top of our firefighters being on the front lines to contain this fire, we also have the California Fire Foundation giving out $250 gift cards to those that have lost their homes. And it is just so tremendous to see firefighters that have spent the last several days working nonstop, exhausted, sleeping for a few hours, and getting up to go volunteer at the convention center. That's the work that these guys are doing, and it's just so incredible. I can't express enough my appreciation for everything that they're doing, and just thank you all so much. This is community coming together. This is how we're going to get through this. Next up, I'll introduce my colleague, Assemblymember John Harabadian.
Thank you, Senator Perez. Thank you, Chair Barger, for all your continued leadership. My name is John Harabadian. I'm the Assembly Member for the areas affected by the Eaton Fire. And as many of you know, this is very personal for me. I was born and raised and grew up in Sierra Madre, minutes and miles away from most of the devastation. I was playing, growing up in homes that are no longer there, grew up playing sports in parks that are no longer there. And to all of the families whose lives have been upended, my heart and prayers are with you. I can't imagine the devastation and the feelings that you are feeling right now. As I was saying to many of my friends last night when we were all together, many of whom lost their homes, a lot of them are facing unbelievable amounts of trauma to going back to their properties and just seeing a foundation. And as I told them, the foundation of this community, of all of us, is going to be there for them forever. While they need to rebuild on their own foundation, there is a foundation of all the people behind us, all the people that you live with in your neighborhoods that are going to be steady and are going to be with you every step of the way. Rest assured, statewide resources will be there. Speaker Robert Rivas was here in the district, as the supervisor said today. We toured together with the rest of the Assembly LA County delegation. Many of my members here, Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez, Assemblymember Mike Fong, were there as well. And we are committed to bringing as many resources as we need to help all those affected, to have a plan for the rebuild, and to make sure that no one is left out. All I'll say is that this is an active disaster. As many know, it is a perilous situation. Please have an emergency evacuation plan, and if there is an evacuation order, especially over these next few days, heed it. We stand united with one voice. We will get through this together, and we love you. We are praying for you, and we will continue to be right here for you. Thank you.
I would like to clarify on behalf of Chief Augustine, our fire chief who's here with us, that Pasadena does not have a curfew in place. We are considering it, and our executive leadership team will make that determination. Para la comunidad de habla hispana, quiero decirles que yo sé que nuestra comunidad es resiliente, fuerte, y vamos a sobrevivir este evento. Aquí estamos con el Condado de Los Ángeles, el Estado de California, y también con la Delegación Nacional y la ciudad de Pasadena y la comunidad de Altadena para apoyarlos a todos. Si necesitan ayuda, vayan al centro de convenciones aquí en la ciudad de Pasadena, 300 Green Street. 300 Green Street es donde pueden encontrar ayuda y apoyo para usted y para sus familias. Gracias.
Good afternoon, Helen Chavez Garcia, Communications Director for Supervisor and Chair Catherine Barger. We wanted to acknowledge the elected officials that are here showing their support. Assembly Member Mark Gonzalez, if you can please raise your hands as I name you. Assembly Member Mike Fong. La Cañada Flint Ridge Mayor Michael Davitt. Pasadena Council Member Justin Jones. And as mentioned, of course, our much cherished Altadena Town Council Chair Victoria Knapp, and also Vice Nick Arzen. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is AJ Lester. I'm a Public Information Officer here on the Eaton Fire. That will conclude our speakers for today. We're going to now open up for questions. If any of the media has questions, please state your name and the agency that you represent, and we will walk around with a microphone and get a question. First question here, gentleman in the blue.
Gary Johnson, KCAL. I saw hundreds of electrical repair trucks gathering at Santa Anita this morning. Can you tell us the plan of attack for all those trucks and when they will get started? And they seem to be from all over the Southwest.
So again, this is Steve Powell, Southern California Edison. So in the event that we have a significant of damage to repair, we will stand up a temporary laydown yard. That's a place where our crews can go to collect materials, collect the next job, and get out into the community, and it keeps us efficient in storing power as quickly as possible. So as I mentioned, we have over 123 crews that are actively working on restoration, and that is a place where they can go and make sure that we're being really efficient. So we were able to get into the communities and get crews out yesterday, and they've been out doing damage assessment, beginning to clear things so that we can begin the restoration. So all those crews are active working today. I was actually there this morning.
Beth Slepaz, KMBC, Telemundo 52. This is for the Edison director. Is there any truth that one of your lines may have caused falling for the Hearst fire? And what do you know about that?
So we're going to talk about the Hearst fire? Yeah. So we filed what's called an electric safety incident report, which we're required to file when there's either media or a certain amount of damage or certain criteria to get hit. There's a lot more investigation to be done on the Hearst fire to understand what caused the fire. And so right now we don't have any evidence that says that the Hearst fire was caused by our equipment, but there's a lot more investigation to be done.
Any further questions from the media? Okay, that will conclude our press conference if there's no further questions. We'll have breakout where we have utilities, SoCal Gas, Edison on the side. We'll also have Spanish speakers if anyone would like to do interviews over there along with public information officers. Thank you for coming.